Welcome to the COM 112 tutorial on how to record your speeches using Zoom. So the first thing that we're going to do is I am going to show you a PowerPoint, and this is really how not to do the speech, but hopefully somewhere in there will be an example of what you should do. So you see right now I am a tiny little person in the corner of the screen, and that is really not what we want to have be the ideal situation. So we're going to talk about ways around that. So the first thing that you need to know, obviously, which you all have done already, is to make sure that you have a Zoom account, and you're all good with that because I've seen most of you in our class sessions. You also need to make sure that you have a YouTube account through Gmail because you're going to be uploading your speeches onto a YouTube link. Many of you maybe haven't hosted a meeting yourself yet, so when you click on the Zoom icon, it'll give you that option to host a meeting. Then you're going to have to make absolutely sure that you have your video on, and then eventually, of course, you're going to have to record. Sometimes I have to open a Zoom launcher. That'll really depend on your computer or how you have it set up, but that's something that might happen. And also make sure that you have the computer audio turned on as well. That can be set to automatically turn on. It depends on your setting. So now you're ready to record your speech. First of all, you need to find a quiet place, which for some of you might be easy, for others, maybe not. My 9-year-old triplets are living here right now, so they're not mine, they're my grandchildren. But yeah, it's sometimes difficult to find a quiet place, so make sure you do that. Fix the computer screen so that we can get a good view of you. I mean, we want to obviously see your face. Try not to have it, like you're down like that. We can only just see a tiny little bit of your head. And everything that you see, we will be seeing. So keep that in mind as you're looking into the camera. Be careful about the background. I had some speeches last term where people had their closets open and there was a bunch of junk pouring out. Not that you have to clean, but just find a different place to do it. Or the breakfast dishes are sitting all around, or there's some abstract painting coming out of your head. Just make sure that you look in the screen and see what background you have so that it isn't distracting. You don't need an auxiliary microphone, and you don't need to wear a headset. You will be fine, I'm sure, with the microphone that you have on your computer. Make sure that you're doing everything full screen. That will be helpful for you as well. And then you're recording, it'll give you an option. You can record on your computer or you can record on the cloud, whatever works best for you, wherever you want to save it. Now, this is where the tricky part comes in. You have to have 3 or 4 slides, right? So make sure you save them separately. I'm going to kind of show you why we need to do that. And that is so that they will be right there for you to open so that you can go back and forth so that you're not that little face in the corner like you're seeing right now. Make sure before you start the Zoom session that you go ahead and open those 3 or 4 slides and you have them ready to go. So have them in present mode. Then you're going to share the screen when you show the visual aids, and you are going to stop share when you go back to yourself full screen. So share screen, stop share. That seems pretty basic, right? This is kind of the magic button that one of my students told me about. Now this is on a PC, so I'm not really sure what you have on a Mac, but I'm sure there's something very comparable. And that is the one that will help you to open several PowerPoints at a time. Otherwise, if you're trying to open, like when I open a PowerPoint and then I go back to it, it'll take me back to that slide and I have to reboot it basically and kind of go back and share it through again. But if I have this button, then it'll help you to have all of them open at the same time. Another kind of a little trick is Alt-S will do the share thing for you as well, if sometimes you can't find the share button. So that is the kind of magic button, as I like to call it. So when you go back and forth with your visual aids, so here is the speaker, and there's the visual aid, and then back to full screen. That's the way you want to do it, as opposed to most of the speeches that I listened to last term that looked like that. And that was the way they did the speeches, nothing against the student or anything, but you had the blank screen and then the full screen, but there was still just the little tiny person in the corner. And it's very hard to grade that kind of a speech. So if you can possibly do it so that you are the full screen, and here let's kind of run through that, okay? So I'm going to try to run through an example. So let's just say that I am doing my speech. I'm doing a great job. This is my informative speech, so on and so forth. So now when I hit the share screen, all of the things that I need should be right here open. You'll see them right in front of you if you use that little magic button. So I go to my first chart and I'm talking about that. Yeah, you're going to be the little person in the corner while you're describing it. No big deal there. And then stop share, continuing with my speech. When I get to the next visual aid, I simply go to my next one. I hit share. There it is, full screen. I'm done talking about that. I hit the stop share. And then for my third visual aid, I have a photo. You'll see two versions on here. You'll see a little version and then the big blown up open version. So make sure you click on the big blown up open version. And there's my third one. And then I hit stop share. And it's back to me for the whole rest of the speech, right? So that's how you're going to do that. But I need to go back to the PowerPoint, which is not quite as easy because here you're going to see what happens. So if I didn't have them the way that I just showed you, then I would have to go back and find where I was on this. So I think you guys can see that. And that's kind of a problem, right? I don't want that to happen. So that's why you had to save them all as 3 individual PowerPoints or slideshows or whatever. Okay, so let's just finish this up here. And we're going to talk about what you do now. So you're done, you've done a great job. You're going to stop the recording, save it as an MP4, send it to YouTube, and that will give you the link. Make sure that you mark it as public, because if you don't, then I won't be able to see it and your classmates won't be able to see it. You can delete it after the speech is graded. Some people have said, it's my private YouTube account. Well, sorry about that, but you're gonna have to use it for this speech and then you can take it down after it's graded. But that's how we're doing it. So you're gonna have to deal with it. And then on your informative speech and your problem, cause, solution speech, they are upload links. So you will simply take your link as it comes off on the YouTube when you're playing it and put it in a Word document. And then that's what you're going to upload to the informative speech and the PCS speech. Do not upload the actual video because they're too big, the files are too big, and I won't be able to send them to your classmates that way. So you have to upload a YouTube link. So don't submit the video itself. Just a couple things about delivery, okay? Make sure that you dress professionally. What you have on from the waist down, I guess, is up to you, but you know, on the top up, I can't have sweatshirts, no hats, no hoods, anything like that. So make sure that you are professional and ready to go. Eye contact. Put your note cards where they need to be. Yes, you need to look down at them. I get that. But for the most part, making eye contact with the audience, AKA your camera. Make sure your volume is high enough. I've tried to grade some speeches that I could barely hear. It's very difficult to grade a speech that you can't hear. Make sure you have a lot of enthusiasm. You picked this topic, right? So you should be excited about it. So I need to hear that in your voice. Don't go too fast, don't go too slow, just all of the basic speech rules that we've talked about. No gum chewing, whatever you do. And there's no time for coffee breaks and drinking water in between. You have to deliver your 5-minute speech and then go do your thing. Practice without recording it first. That might be helpful for you. And then go ahead and do the real version. And then finally, do not forget the extemporaneous delivery. So you have a deadline as to when these speeches should be recorded. I hope they go well. I will put this PowerPoint, as far as what the actual PowerPoint was without the video, I'll put that up on Speaking Order and Helpful Resources as well. And as always, let me know if you have any questions.